As the final bell rings on the last day of school, a sense of freedom and excitement fills the air. But what if that day is not filled with joy and celebration, but with terror and dread? In this collection, we delve into 3 chilling accounts of horror that unfolded on the last day of school, leaving scars on the minds of those who experienced them. These are not tales of fiction, but real-life encounters with the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary days. Story 1: The Empty Halls. It was the last day of high school, and Sarah could hardly contain her excitement. She and her friends had big plans for the summer, and they couldn't wait to get started. But as the final bell rang, signaling the end of the school year, Sarah's excitement turned to unease. As she made her way through the empty halls towards the exit, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. The normally bustling corridors were eerily silent, and the shadows seemed to dance and twist in the dim light. Sarah quickened her pace, her heart pounding in her chest. Just as she reached the front doors, she heard a voice behind her. "Sarah," it whispered, sending a shiver down her spine. She turned around, but there was no one there. Trembling, she pushed open the doors and stepped outside, only to find herself face to face with a figure cloaked in darkness. With a scream, Sarah turned and ran, the sound of her footsteps echoing through the empty streets. But no matter how fast she ran, the figure seemed to be right behind her, its presence looming ever closer. And as she reached the safety of her home, she knew that the horror she had encountered in those empty halls would haunt her forever. Story 2: The Haunted Playground. For years, the old playground behind the elementary school had been a source of rumors and whispers among the students. Tales of ghostly apparitions and mysterious disappearances had made it a place to be avoided at all costs. But on the last day of school, a group of daring friends decided to investigate the playground once and for all. As they crept through the rusted gates and onto the cracked pavement, they could feel the weight of the stories hanging heavy in the air. The swings creaked and swayed in the breeze, and the slide gleamed in the fading sunlight like a sinister grin. Ignoring the sense of unease gnawing at their insides, the friends began to explore the playground, their footsteps echoing in the silence. But as they ventured further into the shadows, they realized that they were not alone. Whispers drifted through the air, and icy fingers brushed against their skin. Shadows danced and flickered in the corners of their vision, and the temperature dropped until their breath hung in the air like a mist. Panic-stricken, the friends tried to flee, but something unseen seemed to be holding them back, trapping them in the grasp of the playground's dark history. And as the last rays of sunlight disappeared behind the trees, the playground was consumed by darkness once more, leaving behind only the echoes of their terrified screams. Story 3: The Vanishing Class. It was supposed to be a day of celebration, a chance to say goodbye to their classmates and look forward to the adventures that lay ahead. But as the students of Mrs. Thompson's 3rd grade class gathered for their end-of-year party, they quickly realized that something was terribly wrong. One by one, their classmates began to disappear, vanishing into thin air without a trace. Desperate to escape the nightmare unfolding around them, the remaining students huddled together in fear, their minds racing with thoughts of what could be lurking in the shadows. As the hours ticked by and the sun dipped below the horizon, the classroom became a prison, trapping them in a world of darkness and uncertainty. And as the last student disappeared into the void, Mrs. Thompson knew that they were not alone. Something sinister lurked in the depths of the classroom, waiting to claim its next victim. And as she closed her eyes and whispered a prayer, she knew that the horror of that final day would never truly be over. The last day of school is supposed to be a time of joy and celebration, but for those who have experienced true terror, it is a day they will never forget. These 3 chilling accounts serve as a reminder that darkness can lurk in the most unexpected of places, waiting to strike when we least expect it. And as the final bell rings and the halls empty once more, we are left to wonder what horrors may lie just beyond the shadows.